All right, let's call the Public Works Committee meeting to order for Wednesday, April 10th, 2024 at 5:30 P.M. President Caleb Garn
Randy Crone.
and Donnie Kern will be joining via Zoom. Public Works minutes from March 13th.
I've had a chance to review those minutes and everything's in order. Randy Crone make a motion to approve the March 13th Public Works Committee Village of Somerset meeting.
There is a motion. In a sec, I'll second. Any discussion? We need to discuss this mess of ball field maintenance agreement. That Amy putting it out, that
That has its own.
got one item.
Just in the minutes on the back page.
Yep.
In
Yeah,
my
you
original
highlighted
packet, I highlighted it. Just, I'm gonna say, just to try to clean up the motions instead of, like, just stick with your gut. Instead of, if you read it, it's like rambling.
Got it. We'll make sure we work as a team to make clear, concise motions.
Yes. Perfect.
Got it.
I appreciate it.
Can do.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Project, public comment.
Donnie's on now.
Hi, Donnie. We've started. The floor is open for public comment, 2 minutes per person, 14 minutes per topic. Does anybody have public comment to make?
I do now, and I had called earlier.
Please, you don't have to go up if you don't want to. State your name and your address.
Okay, I'm Nancy Benas. I live at 733 190th Avenue. I heard rumors of discussion about a dog park going in at the Veterans Park. And, I'm thrilled about the prospect of having a dog park. I think we certainly need that. But, I came downtown today and walked through Veterans Park, and it's a beautiful park, but it's very packed with things, activities, that tennis court and pickleball court take up a lot of space. And, you really need a lot of more open space, but, at any rate, I want to mention, what about Parnell Park out, in the country? We snowshoed there quite a lot last winter when we had snow. And the dog dirt left all over the trails. So right away I thought, well, why don't we have a dog park out here? It's out in the country. If you think about it, people don't need a dog park for the tiny dogs that they can run up and down in the driveway and get exercise, but it's the bigger dogs that they bring out there. And I'm sure that's what's out at the Parnell Park. So just wondering kind of what other discussion is going on around it and what do other people feel?
Sure. Lots and lots of discussion going on. There's pros and cons to all locations. We're not supposed to have a back and forth conversation in this decorum.
Oh, okay, we just kind of wanted to hear the background of what.
The biggest opposition to Parnell Prairie from some folks is that it's a prairie preserve and it needs to stay natural and not be obstructed with a bunch of fencing and so forth.
And the other half of that is we only own half of the park for Parnell Prairie.
That would have to be done with the township,
Yes.
Yeah.
A group
but
discussion.
that would be an advantage to them too.
It's certainly come up and we're looking at all options.
Well, we are on a prairie remnant where our house is. And we're still debating if we want to go that route and it means cutting all the trees down. And, but that was a prairie remnant because it was never, farmed, so that there was never crops planted. And, the fact that animals roam it is no problem. And so that wouldn't affect the Parnell Prairie, I don't think. You know, I don't think it would ruin the things that are planted there or. But you would have to put up a fence so that the dogs are contained.
Right.
I think that would be, 15 minutes is up.
Yep.
Yeah.
yes, it's
Okay.
on.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Katie.
I could speak to, my name is Katie Bible and I live at 1904 37th Street in Somerset. I wanted to say that I did walk through Veterans Park with Donnie and Caleb, and I am in favor of the perimeters that they outlined. I think including the park pavilion is a wonderful idea and would be a great asset to the dog park. It would provide water to the park users and their dogs. We could move the grill. And then one idea would be to fundraise and get volunteers to build a second pavilion close to the road, like the other current second pavilion. So that would be easier for citizens to use. Right now, the pavilion is pretty far from the road and people don't like to haul all of their picnic gear so far. And so it's easier to have it close to the car, like the other pavilion. Regarding sizes, I just wanted to give the acreage for the Hudson and Stillwater dog parks. The Hudson Dog Park has an all-size dog area and a small dog area. The all-size area is 1.5 acres and the small dog area is 0.5. At all of the dog park areas I've been to, the small dog areas are rarely used. In fact, they're more often used by large dogs. So I think we could go a small dog area with the Somerset Dog Park. The Stillwater Dog Park only has an all sizes area. I had thought that I had read that the Stillwater Dog Park was 1.5 acres, but there were some questions as to whether that was accurate. So I contacted the Stillwater Dog Park founder again, and I found out that it is it's a little over an acre. So it's not 1.5 acres. But they are able to make their dog park work really well for all sizes. So I think proceeding with at least the size of the Hudson or Stillwater all-size dog park areas would be the ideal path for us to follow. Regarding Parnell, I am someone who definitely wants to see it remain as much of a nature preserve as possible. The idea, that idea has come to my mind before too, but I just think, with the fencing, it ruins it. And then also, well, for sure, dogs running through the prairie right now, when people are walking, that's not a problem. It's just like deer or fox or other animals running through for sure. But I think if you consolidate all of them into a fenced area where they're all running over the same territory, that it would ruin it because you can get issues with, mud and stuff. Some dog parks end up putting wood chips down or things like that. And New Richmond Dog Park doesn't really have a problem with that though, except for maybe the entrance, but, and then like Nancy's home area, also the Parnell area is a prairie remnant and it's actually considered the rarest of rare. I might have mentioned this before, but it's actually the gold standard of remnants. The DNR and the US Fish and Wildlife Service, that's what they try to emulate, but they never can because you can't bring it back. You can only try to get as close as you can. And so it's so valuable to keep it.
Thanks, Katie.
Sure.
Any other
Can I
public
just
comment?
make one comment? My prairie is being used to collect seeds. It's a very high quality,
Right on.
but I still think the dog should be controlled.
Thank you both.
Is there any public comment online?
Another one, chat.
Okay,
Project updates.
thank you.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Update. So we have begun work on the water and transportation portion of the impact fee needs assessment. The other needs assessment categories will, be delayed slightly just because of the ISG feasibility study that's, we want to incorporate any results from that into the document there. Let's see, we have the Corp survey on the agenda a little bit later. Pinedale subdivision, they're working up that way. There was a pre-construction meeting held. And, you know, it looks like mid-April, you know, grading, you know, mid-April, utility installation first part of June.
Who's the contractor for the landscaping up there,
North Pine's doing all the grading.
North Pine, and they'll put the pipes in too?
Trying to remember if they're doing the pipe work as well.
There's a different company doing,
Is it Perkins?
maybe.
Oh, we can't, all right, we can't discuss it.
Well,
No, we can. We just, I don't recall.
Can't remember. I
Oh, okay,
can pull it from my file. It's in my office.
okay.
I wasn't able to attend, you know,
I guess the root of my question is, obviously, we've worked with them before, they're reputable.
Capstone has.
Okay,
and they're very happy to have them because of very nice work.
yeah, they're located in the northern metro. And they've done a ton of work for us up in the city of Oak Grove. And we've always been happy with North Pine and their
is
subs.
there any reason you don't go like with a place that's more local, like I know,
It's not our lead,
it's not, okay, it's up
you
to
know, it's
Capstone.
Capstone's.
They get to choose who they get to work
We
with, that
could
makes
do,
sense.
yeah, we could object if there was somebody that we did.
Did before work.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and they do really good work and that's why Capstone, they've used in the past, they trust them, you know, they make, you know, meet their deadlines, that sort of thing. So,
Yeah, I know they're just working with Great Center up there, where I'm at right now, and I know Capstone's work, they've gotta work with them probably because that's who is the developer of that area, but it seems that they do a good job too, so I was just curious if we try and keep that stuff local, and as long as we're using someone we're happy with as far as their quality goes, we don't wanna get stuck with anything on the road.
Yep.
Perfect. Looks like they're coming along like pretty quick. I buy that every day.
yeah, good deal. Let's see, we have, some change order pay apps for the Spring Street project a little bit later on the agenda. Let's see, I'll reach out and find out what the Main Street Bridge, I haven't heard, you know, when they wanna remobilize and get those hangers going. So I haven't had any contact with them recently. I will do that and, I can, certainly report back to the board in a week or two. And, you know, we're reviewing some plan revisions for the stormwater and Winesap Prairie. So that is basically the highlights. I don't know, does the committee have any questions for me?
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Donnie, you got anything?
You're muted.
Isn't it?
Oh,
I'm good.
Thank you, sir. Unfinished business, discussion, possible recommendation, outdated ordinances.
Caleb, do you wanna jump, or just a request, do you wanna jump down to C, the ball field maintenance agreement since Troy is in the audience and just be respectful this time?
Any objection to, moving item 5C up?
Is that a motion?
No objection.
I'll make a motion to move up item 5C up.
Brandon Crum second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right, discussion, possible recommendation, ball field maintenance agreement.
Well,
Go
Yeah, I
ahead.
was gonna say, yeah.
so the committee had asked, for, basically a written maintenance agreement for Larry Forest Ball Fields to understand who's responsible for what expectations, the school district would have on us, and then that there's just no, there's interpretations of, well, we're supposed to do that, well, we didn't think, what, you know, basically, so we had something written down. And I think that you just got this.
Yeah, earlier this winter, Trent was able to track it down, because Zach had asked me a question and I didn't have it yet, and so I had seen a little bit, but then, he shared it with me earlier this week, so I have had a chance to look it over those, so.
And do you want to spend some time with me? Are you comfortable going through this, or do you want
Yeah.
to sit with me and not through the committee? And then have something back? It's up to you, just as a.
Yeah, I'd be fine with you and I sitting down sometime and just going through it, on the surface, it makes sense and seems reasonable. I guess my only question, this is like the first time something's been in agreement, like.
Yep.
Put on paper type of thing, right?
Yeah, it
Which makes
is,
sense to
right.
have, because, having coached before, it was kind of, it was like this unknown, and so like, I think we have stuff down that I can go to my coaches with and say, okay, this is the expectation of, this is what we'll have, and you can expect flying, for instance, or you can expect, this to happen, and then, at least we have a point to discussion, it seems, of like, okay, this is or isn't happening.
Yeah.
So,
Right. And I'm gonna guess this is gonna go to the school board
right,
for ratification, which hasn't gone yet.
Right.
Obviously, because,
yep.
and I know there was personnel changes, and there was kind of a lot of events going on, the last half of the first semester, so.
Yeah, no, I would assume that I can take this, I have a meeting scheduled next week, with the principal and superintendent, and then, kind of review it, and then see if they have any concerns with it, and then obviously, bring it to the school board of like, this, nothing's been in place, and this would be what's in place, and, just to maybe just get another set of eyes, what any concerns might be, like I said, on the surface, it seems pretty straightforward and pretty fair, but maybe there's some time missing that I don't know.
No,
So you think next month, next committee meeting, you guys can have ironed out?
is that okay? Just
I mean, the
because,
request was just to have something at least in writing. I believe that was the request of the committee. Could we have something, at least negotiation point for us to start the conversation? And like you said, it's not just you guys, it's the school board as well. So I think
Right.
getting in makes sense.
table it.
Bob, there was, back and forth on this, if I remember correctly. The original proposal came to the committee here and we made some changes to it. And it went back to, Trent, I believe, and then there was a change up at the school. Is everything that has been proposed, from the committee in that document that's there for review?
Everything's, there,
Everything that we had kicked back to them that, after we originally reviewed it, there was a couple things as far as, who takes care of the signs or the, stuff at the, did all of that, all them changes get sent over? That's the draft that, is in front of us today?
Yeah, it struck through on your Donnie.
So it's basically in the school boards, and the schools, hands right now to review that, with the new, athletic director and get it approved by the board of the school board, correct? Because
Yep.
we're in agreement with it unless there's some changes that the school wants to make. We recommended them changes, right?
yeah, we came up with the draft, so, I don't think the school board hasn't had the opportunity to review any of this.
Okay.
And that, in my timeline, I think could happen, I could get it on their next agenda, which is 2 weeks from, coming up, whatever, 22nd, is it? So it's possible to, cause I'll meet Monday and then I still have time to get it on the agenda for approval, so like, at the end of the month, we could have a definitive answer, and, like I said, you guys meet once a month, so by your next meeting, we should be able to finalize where we're at. I apologize if this was if I dropped the ball somewhere or not, but I didn't really know about it, so.
No, there
We're
was
just kind of,
a lot of turmoil,
yeah,
and I guess to be respectful, you guys had enough to deal with versus, barking up,
right,
you had some leadership changes and your position changed, and I think when I emailed this out to Trent, he left 2 days later,
Yeah, we were in the thick of it then.
and
so-
there was an absence for some time being, and then I had gone back to Trent and said, oh, and he had a pretty full plate, he was dual role there for a couple months, so,
Yep.
understandably. But I did wanna, just give you the opportunity to sit down with me and Jim, the supervisor. And you have the opportunity to go through Zach and, your
Yeah.
softball coaches, and maybe there's some idea of improving this even more.
Okay.
Or adjusting some things, so I just wanna make sure that
Yeah.
opportunities,
For
presents
sure.
itself, so we're not just letting the government parties say, well, this is the way it's gonna be,
Yeah.
it doesn't work out.
No, I think it's good to have a two-way communication for sure. 'Cause like I said, we need that facility and we want to make it work the best we can for everybody, so. And like I said, in reviewing it, maybe there's something I'm missing, so yeah, definitely
The ball,
Coaches like-
ball season starting up already?
yeah, our first home, well, we've had a couple canceled, but our first official home games are tomorrow.
So what are we gonna do in the meantime? Are we gonna maintain everything as status quo until we get, something in front of us then, Bob?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't think it'll change a whole lot, just, cause we talked about dragging it and stuff anyway, so like. As long as the agreement goes in, then, if we end up going with the $50 per fee, then we'll get invoiced and track it all and. Grass isn't growing yet, so we don't have to worry about mowing just yet. Will be soon though.
Lenny Crow make a motion to table the ball field maintenance agreement till next month.
There's a motion,
I'll second it.
Donnie seconds, any discussion?
Just the stipulation that, maintenance will continue, like you said, until, we get this, maintenance agreement worked out.
Absolutely.
Yep. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed, nay? Motion passes. Discussion possible recommendation, outdated
Thank you.
ordinances.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I haven't reviewed any of them since last one. I apologize, to be honest.
Are we going to be, going through and making these recommendations of these outdated ordinance? I know that you, Bob, you got a bunch of them on there. Do we want to just take like a few of them each month, or do you want to take them lock, stock and barrel? I mean, there's quite a few of them in there. What do you guys think?
Uh,
I think a few each month.
so
Okay,
so we're all going to talk about it at the meeting, or we're all expected to do our own research and come in and bring that research in? How would you rather do that? How would you like to do that?
What's your pleasure, Donnie?
I guess, I'm open to either way. I just, if, as long as we're all kind of, in agreement, if we say we're gonna do like, say five sections, 1 month and 5 sections the next month, that we all take a look at them. And if we can get through them, that way we won't eat up too much of our time on the agenda to get through them. I don't want to drag it out for them, 9 months trying to get these updated. I didn't know if this is something also that needs to go to the full board, or are they all reviewing that as well? Or if we just take it up with the full board as a recommendation from this committee.
That would be correct.
Yeah, we gotta take it to the full board,
Yep.
and it's gotta go to the attorney, so.
So take 5, but we'll send them out to you prior, so familiarize yourself. I don't think it's good to have everybody start reading an ordinance that's potentially 2 pages long and try to
Right.
accomplish some of the things, so if some
Yeah.
awareness could happen, that make things flow a little bit better.
So we should communicate as a team which sections of the ordinance we're gonna concentrate on. And then we have to come and be ready at the next meeting to discuss that portion.
Yes.
Perfect.
The way I
And
under-
oh, go ahead, Donnie, go ahead.
I said, that's the way I understand it.
The other thing I wanna point out is, you know, each one of these is gonna cost money to change. I think we should have, sometimes we do assessments at my work where we'll put them in, we'll rank them by categories, by how severe they are. So which ordinances we prioritize in changing, once we do have that list. We may wanna look at that. Because like I said, every one of these is gonna cost money and it's gonna take time to get through. The attorney's gonna have to approve all of them, so I just wanna look at that as we, roll through those changes.
Well, if you can do everything at once too, that's, unless there's an urgency on one of them, you can just. If they require a public hearing or, do it all at once,
Bundle it.
bundle it, right? There you
Yeah,
go.
Bundle and save.
yeah, I think there was some discussion about that in other areas too, about just getting everything, put forth in one meeting to amend all of them. And that way it won't be a huge cost, but I understand the attorney aspect of it too, and it's a good recommendation, Brandon.
All right,
We'll decide which ones amongst ourselves.
item 5B, discussion possible recommendations, spring parks improvement update, dog park location.
I had emailed over to Amy a couple of versions over at Veterans Park that was talked about. I don't know if you got that, Amy, or not.
Yeah, I did.
Are you able to put that up on the screen by any chance?
I can't,
Yeah.
no, because it's not my computer,
Oh, you can't log it, you're not logged in under your
No.
credentials?
no, but
Okay,
I have everything here.
okay.
We're getting a handout, Donnie.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
You guys want to sit by each other?
Oh, it's not one, I know where, I'm,
I looked at the email.
and I
Okay.
know where we're talking. Really, these are extra ones.
There are some from Jim, because Jim sent to you guys too.
Yep.
Yep.
And that was,
So I had recommended to Jim, he said there might be some other places and locations and those were sent out. There was a couple spots that have some potential. I don't know what the sizes are. But there's a couple that are kind of difficult to get into for parking too. So I don't know if you've had a chance to review them, committee.
I didn't see these ones.
Mhm.
I didn't see them.
because Jim sent them to you too.
Yeah, I saw
Okay.
this one. I guess I didn't see, I thought I only had this one in it. The Parnell Prairie, or that's the Parnell Prairie. Veterans.
Just FYI too, I did talk to the Mark Van Os in regards to his family was the one that donated the land for Veterans Park, and I asked him if he would be opposed or if he felt that a dog park would fit into that area, and kind of showed him the layout as we all received, and I was hoping that we could get a visual out on it, but he was not opposed to it. He actually appreciated it, thought that would be a good addition to the Vets Park.
I'm gonna go up there and hold it up there though. It's in Veterans Park. Use your imagination.
Well, and in that email from Jim, I mean, he was concerned about, he knows the people that live down there and not used to having a lot of traffic.
So I did walk that and knocked on all 8 of them doors on that area and talked to those individuals that would answer the door about that. And there was only one person that actually had a concern with a dog park in that area, and his concern was that there was children there, and so that's why we kind of looked at putting the entrance over on the far end, away from where the children would be coming in at.
Hey, Bob, how likely would it be for us to acquire that land heading out of town? Not by the meadows above the watershed there, how likely would that be able to? Oh, you already got, I sent that today, that's amazing, Wow.
For price.
for a price. So I had said maybe that spot, right in your neighbor, right where you go in your neighborhood there, because they can't build any, well, we're not gonna, they can't build anything here anymore, so.
You wanna share any thoughts, Bob?
Carefully.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
I-
allegedly, I should have said.
So number one, parking. Do we have room for parking in that location?
That, no, fun.
It's on a, we've posted that no parking, just because it's on the curve, and then in the mornings for school, in the afternoons for school. It's busy, so that is one consideration I have to give some time to think about. Otherwise, we would say we throw this out in the court. Let the people choose for us, and number one, number two, number three. And
Oh, in here, as far as like, if you want a dog park, where would you want it? Veterans Park?
and it
And it
takes
is
some of the
good.
burden off of your, I thought it.
It asked for
Has it.
dog park, which does it have location of dog park?
I don't think so.
No, number
So if we
11.
said, so if the question was to be asked,
Where
if the
would,
question,
Go ahead, Danny.
I said, if the question was to be asked in the court, is that if you wanted a dog park, which one of these parks would you be willing to allow, want one at? Veterans, Village, LaGranger, or the other would be, should the village obtain land, additional land for a dog park? Unless you have one or two of those on the list with Jim that you might want to put into there as well. I'm perfectly fine with, with that as well.
Then if you list out veterans, you might wanna give them an address or a, you know, a general location.
Type of an exhibit.
well, I think, and so I don't know, and I don't know if I agree to put LaGranger on there, cause we kind of already eliminated that kind of already eliminated that one, I kind of feel like.
Not this spot, right?
That's not LaGranger, that's Parnell,
Oh,
but that's up in the front where the trees are at more. West Prairie there.
the Granger's not on here.
Well, I think he might have one that's in hole 17. It looks like he's got, or else that's on the south side of American Structural Metals. But I think that's just drainage field there.
Where is this one, Bob? Oh, there's more on the back. Jeez.
Which one? That one is behind the ball fields at St. Anne's.
Oh,
Is there access to that?
Yeah, right on your road there, Donnie.
I don't, that St. Anne's access there, isn't it? Or is that easement across? I would love to have it out in that neck of the woods, but, I don't know if there's access across there for any car to go, is there?
We would need an agreement with probably St. Anne's and the condo association to access that outside of the ball field. Playing times. So,
Then we gotta kick it to the people.
I'm not opposed to that. Personally, I think Veterans Park is a great location for it because of its centrality to the whole community.
I agree. I mean, the location that we have for veterans, I did That was one of my initial suggestions, but it just seems like every place we suggest, there's like one or two people that are just like, everyone wants it, they just don't want it.
We're not gonna
By then.
win that battle.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm okay with it at Vets, also, I think that would be in my opinion, I think that would be a great place, for it. I think as us as a committee, I mean, we're shooting ourselves in the foot with this. If there's other places that somebody has that can put, forth as, hey, this is a, a better option. I think maybe we give it one more look at it and say, hey, if anybody has got a better option, let's ponder it for 1 month and make a decision.
What's
If
your
we
pleasure?
we put it to the corp, we put it to everybody. And, I'm fine with that too, if you want to put it out to everybody, but I think everything's on the table then.
Yeah, my fear is that becomes a tailspin, we don't get this done till 2028.
I agree. Yeah, that's a legitimate concern.
Motion.
Done right.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we table this until next month, until if there's no further viable options that come forth to this committee that allow for and consideration of the size and scope that we're looking at Veterans Park, that we'll put this back on the table of it next month and for approval.
Brandon Crowe, second.
There is a motion, and a second. Any further discussion?
I think the only thing we can do is maybe get these sites out that we looked at and at Vets and maybe these other areas, a little more information on 'em. I know we got them late from Jim and I appreciate him getting them to us, but we can also, I think there for sure, there's a real narrow one in there that can be eliminated because that's not going to work as a dog park.
Okay. First and second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
One more.
Can I just offer one thing here?
Sure.
I want to be illegal.
Yeah, we're gonna lock you
If
out.
you're gonna do a survey, would you put the amount of acreage of each of the parks?
Yep.
No idea what each of them allows for. I think, I have to leave, but I appreciate you.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
wanna Add something too about Parnell, I don't know what you guys were looking at with your maps, but, kind of the only really viable area for Parnell of a dog park, unless the entire thing was fenced in, which never could happen because that's too expensive, but it would be that front area where it's flat. And that though actually was, a seeded prairie where, just a massive amount of time, labor, and money was spent restoring that prairie, and using the seeds from the prairie remnants that's in the back area. Parnell, the majority of Parnell is remnant. So, the dog park would basically be situated right on top of that seeded area. And that would ruin it because, again, the concentration of activity there. And also I wanted to mention that Parnell is a wildlife, resource that, the nesting birds, for example, nest in that prairie, and other animals use it too. And obviously, if you put a fenced in dog park there, all of those wildlife would not be able to use that whole area. So, just having the dogs playing through the park as it is, they're compatible, but it wouldn't be if you had the actual dog park, fenced in area. I would say if we can't find a different place other than Parnell, then we should just not do the dog park at this time. And who knows, maybe in the future, something will come up like, a land donation or something else. And, so that, I think that would be the best way to go. I know there's a lot of people that, restored that prairie, like Sean Schottler and Ginny Gamer, who were very vocal and against further development of it. I really think it's important to preserve it as a nature preserve.
Thanks, Katie.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Item 5D, possible or discussion possible recommendation for the corp survey.
I think we just added, where would you want the, dog park to here with acreage? That would be 15. I think one I had on. This was in- All right, so how are we gonna get this out then? Facebook? Face chat?
Well, number one, are you okay with questions? Do you want me omitted? Do you want me changed, reworded?
Nope. Well, I come, after adding the word, if you want the dog park, where you want it.
Dog park, I'll insert that.
Yeah, and I think that should be, which of these 3 locations do you want the dog park to go?
That's, where are those?
I think veterans is one, and then I think between us 3 and you, we determine 2 and 3 off of this file.
You'll let me know.
Well, we want you to be a part of the discussion. Or I do.
Well, we gotta figure this out like soon, because we want this, if we want this feedback for next month, so we can make a
Bob, what's the
decision.
timeline, what's the timeline on turnaround on this survey? 2 weeks?
I think 2 weeks is enough.
So, and if by next week, maybe we could talk about it, are we gonna put these, questions out to the rest of the board for approval before it goes out, or is this committee sending it out?
Up to the committee.
Okay, so, by next week, would we be able to, come up with that,
The other
those
2
other, the other 2 locations?
When are you back, Donnie?
I'll be back on Saturday.
So there's gotta be a evening. Either Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday that the 3 of us can get together.
Well,
Right.
that, we can't do that, it's a walking quorum.
Yeah.
We have to post it. One of us can.
What you can do is send me your individual thoughts. I can come back and tell you what the rest of the committee had said, so we can avoid a walking quorum that way.
Right.
Do by Tuesday at noon to Bob, our individual
Yeah,
recommendations for site 2 and 3.
And I guess any other things we want added to the survey, if you think of anything between now and then.
Okay.
Perfect.
sounds like a plan. So you'll have everything, you'll be able to roll out these, the questions then by Tuesday, you're saying, or by next week after you get our input?
Well, Tuesday's the day for us. so
Tuesday's the day for us.
Bob's gonna give him what
I'd
is
say
it?
at the end of that week, I'll get it. out
Okay,
By that Friday.
And Bob is asking how we want to roll that out. Are we gonna put it on?
Put it on the Village Public Works Facebook page, people share it. Then do we want to address the people that are non-Facebook people? Do we want to do that through the school?
Oh, yeah, the school.
Newsletter?
Yes,
Say,
yes.
hey,
Yep, the Spartan Scoop. Send it to the Scoop.
do we want to?
is there anything we could put in, is there anything we can put in our public works utility bills?
They won't go out until the end of April, so I think that'd be too
Oh,
late.
shoot, okay, we missed that, all right.
It doesn't, people don't read them on the utility bills.
So they never send them back unless you have a way to, like,
Right,
take a picture of them and send them back or
And
scan.
then we could direct people to go to our website.
yep, we could do website.
Do we have one where you can just check mark it? It's obviously it's electronic, right? You can do it electronic.
What would you
we
do?
Survey Monkey.
do a Survey Monkey for a small fee. Which isn't
does that help you in terms of compiling the data and?
I'll probably be delegating enough if it's going to
I
serve.
can help with data.
I had a hard enough time on Zoom today with a couple meetings.
I can help with data compilation.
It's like, what the heck?
Yeah, because we wanna make it, if we wanna elicit the most feedback, we have to make it as easy as possible for them to give
And a
feedback.
variety of different ways.
Yeah.
So,
So I
Okay,
think the scoop is a great idea, the website, our Facebook's a great idea because it has the question of where we live, and then we also,
It's an all of the above approach.
and then how we, or I think the Survey Monkey, well, or however we wanna do a survey. Electronic one. Do we have that like notice thing up and running yet? The emails that go up?
Working- If people subscribe to the website, e-notify does work.
Okay,
So
so can you send out an e-notify on that system as well, that the.
it's
surveys
only
are-
if people subscribe to it.
Yep, so we can at least get those people for sure.
Yeah.
I
if
guess I could
there's,
put it on the YouTube page.
We might have a subscription, survey monkey.
what do you check?
Yeah.
Okay. Most of,
I could probably put something on the YouTube page, that's 100 something.
Do it all.
subscribers. Okay, I'll do that.
I'll talk to our planners, they survey people all the time, maybe we have some thoughts of Bob as far as, you know, how to, be it Survey Monkey or some other means.
Okay,
or
so
even
feedback
from a
from.
trial.
Feedback, okay,
what's
so
our, what's our
feedback from-
goal of trying to get, last time we had what, 200 and some?
I don't remember. I thought it was 100 and, it was under 200, I think, which was representative of our survey.
So,
And that was a mailed survey, right?
No. I'll have to go back and look to see what went through the school, and then I think we might have done like a Google type
Google Doc.
survey. Thank you guys. did it.
yeah, I'll talk to my planners, we'll figure out, so I'll work with Bob.
So you'll get the electric one, I'll fill out the one on, I'll try and do one on YouTube. I think you can just do a survey on there.
You are paying them to save more money than me to do this, so.
They owe us.
Alright, do we need a motion for this? I don't believe so.
No, we need to have our feedback to Bob by Tuesday, end of
Noon.
noon, ooh. right,
Noon
High
on
noon,
Tuesday.
high noon on Tuesday,
416.
I'll be in at 11.
Alright. Discussion possible recommendation, street use permit, pea soup days.
So I looked at this,
Does this get fixed?
and it doesn't look, I think there's still the issue, wasn't the
We-
issue that
we
was
haven't
going down
let this
Kuchar?
go. I think this is gonna go to the village board. Joel kind of took the lead on this. I was in a brief discussion this morning with Joel, Dave Brock, Chris Dubak. And then I had to leave, so I don't know all the information, but they're working on I think they have something nailed down. I just don't know what it is.
I think Chris is on right now,
She is.
did you have anything to add, Chris? Sorry to put you on the spot, she's probably listening in this.
Hi, I think it's still being determined overnight. There was some communication going on between Dave and Bart. So I'm not sure at this point.
Okay, so then do we need to approve it, so it can go to the full board then, or?
Well, there's
I
nothing
think
to
we-
approve.
I think what you can do is just,
Send it there.
Just send it,
Yeah,
that's
sure.
an agenda item,
I send it to the village board and
so Donnie put
you
it
should
on
have all the
village
information on
board.
the road then. But no matter what we do, we're not going to, we're gonna have different plans, even if we try to modify this right now. Because there's a lot of discussion about.
I'd say we just wait till the village board and, we give no recommendation on it at this point in time. Till we see it and we can talk about it there.
No, it's good that we'll table it. Nothing,
No, it was supposed to the board.
those of
I
us.
got it.
Board automated.
Forward to the village board with no recommendation.
New business discussion, possible recommendation, Spring Street, Main Street, change order number 1.
So change order number 1, there's a credit of $4,000 for some turf restoration that Public Works was willing to take on. And then there was an ad of $24,832 for 3,100 feet of concrete curb marketing, as well as a yield sign. So the total increase of the change order to the contract price is $22,032.
I have a question.
Mhm.
So that comes out to be about $9 a square foot or $9 a foot for painting the curbs?
Sure, yeah.
Did we get any other quotes on that?
Goes to the contractor. Is their subcontractor.
Yeah. We
Is
we
there,
have a contractor for the project, so we couldn't go out and get quotes from. It was just added, it was added to the project, it was. we
so that was
increased
added to the project after we already had the bid out? They didn't have that in the original bid for, 20-some thousand dollars worth of painting?
Yeah, it was added.
So they didn't have that in the original contract for,
No,
How
there
would-
wasn't
how
an
would-
original contract, but it was something as we're talking through the project, it was something that, that needed to be added, some additional painting.
and at $1,200 for a sign?
Yep,
A yield sign for $1,200?
That was more than that.
Oh, yes,
They saw us coming.
I'm in the wrong business.
well, it was, it's install too and everything else.
Labor, parts and labor.
That's one hell of a yield sign. Is that thing flashing?
No,
It should
but
be.
there was more to it than that.
Okay.
I reassure you.
There's a story.
Okay.
Well, the sleeving and everything else, I imagine, so.
I'd have to go back. to the actual Conversations.
All right, what do you wanna do, fellas?
Brandon Crowe make a motion to approve change order number 1 in the amount of $22,032.00.
I have a little further inquiry here, if I can, please, before before that second goes out there. I know there was on that email you originally sent out, didn't you mention in there, that there was a memorandum, back on the 30th on that, Chuck? It's noted in the change order?
Oh, yeah, there was a memo, yes.
Is there a little background to that, if I may?
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me. I can get it to you ahead of the board meeting. Is that reasonable,
Well, I
Donnie?
was just curious as to what it was, what the memorandum was about.
It just provides further detail. It's the background information probably from the supplier and I'm looking for it now, but
Are we looking at paying $9 a foot to paint lines the rest of the, or is that kind of a going rate? Or is this, I mean, I feel like we're getting taken to the cleaners here on this one.
About $14 a foot was some of the bids that I was getting on separate things. So, no, I don't think, I wouldn't agree that we were getting taken to the cleaner on this.
Okay, well, that's why I'm asking, because I haven't seen that, but I just, for $9 a foot for painting, is it all done already, or has it gotta get done?
So,
it was done.
Well, then I guess we gotta pay it, so I'll second the motion.
so traffic signal standard aluminum 10 foot each, $12.50. Was in the bid.
Yeah, so, you know, and you're looking at the, you know, if you look at the, for instance, the yield sign, you have the square post, you know, 12-inch full gauge, punch galvanized steel. You have the surface mount anchor, and 2x2 posts with the galvanized light bolts and anchors. You have the bolt, corner bolts, and then, you know, the freight. And then you also have the core and install as well. You know, they had to core the sidewalk to get it installed. So,
First and second,
Who's first and second, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All
I,
opposed, nay. Motion passes. Discussion possible recommendation, Spring Street, Main Street, change order number 2.
so, like every other project, change order 2 is just at the end of the project, we do, the auditor likes to see a change order that trues up the quantities. And so that's what this does. The original contract price was $810,000, 700. You know, now with all of the ads and all the work that was completed, you know, where the final project cost was $846,720.79.
leaves us with the difference of this change order, correct?
That includes the change order, yes.
yep, change order and the yield sign. Right there at the bottom. Brandon Crowe make a motion to approve the change order number 2 in the amount of $13,950.24.
Second.
His motion is second, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Motion carries. Discussion possible recommendation, Spring Street and Main Street pay app number 4.
You know, and so, you know, that change order, everything, and that I referenced that $846,000, that was with the original bid prices and the ads and some of those things. Pay application number 4 is for $45,881.20. And, you know, again, this is, so basically, the original project was $810,738.55. And this pay application, once you pay that $45,000, the total project ended up being $832,770.55. So basically $20,000, give or take, over the original bid, which was pretty good with all things considered with all the ads and everything else that, you know, the additional sidewalk that was added into the project.
Yeah, that was kind of open-ended.
Yeah, because, you know, it's difficult once you start ripping out sidewalk, where do you stop type of thing, but.
Brandon Crowe make a motion to approve, pay app number 4 final in the amount of $45,881.20.
I'll second that. Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries. Discussion and possible recommendation, safety training proposal.
So you will find a invoice essentially, for annual training, safety training for, one training for the entire village staff, including the police department and library, and then, subsequent trainings for public works staff throughout the year. Safer Sure has been doing our safety for probably 10 years, and the guys are receptive to it. They're not, it's good. They come here. Our other option is going across the state to receive safety training it's constantly pulling them to try to go do that, so. For $5,300, they come here. They'll reschedule if we have something going on, so, and they do a very nice job. They take their jobs very serious, but at the same time, they make it light enough that, staff will pay attention and, Amy's been at them and, you know, they sit and do ergonomics and, how to work a fire extinguisher and those types of things and,
Yes, we have similar programs at SMC. They're quite riveting.
Right.
and this, you know, probably pays for itself with our liability insurance for workers' comp, you know, guys know they're smarter now,
Well, I like the fact that they come here because then we don't gotta pay mileage. They don't have to be
Yep.
away if something happens. They're here.
Costs us twice as much to send them to.
Do you need a
wherever.
motion to approve anything on this, or is it just for discussion?
well, it's over our spending policy, so I'm just wanting to align with our spending policy, if it comes up on the bills that, you know, comes, a lot of it's information to me.
Yep.
I would assume a rational person would understand that you need to have safety training with the equipment that we have and, but again, just for awareness, so if the committee's fine with this just being brought up to the committee and not going to the board, I'll leave that up to you, but
I'd recommend approval of it. I'll make a motion to recommend approval of it. The safety training is important and it's necessary and it should, you know, fall under consent agenda, so.
Brandon Crowe, second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Carries. Discussion possible recommendation, concrete quote for maintenance at the shop.
So there's two of these, I had them split the proposals up. One's for, and I don't know, I apologize, I was out of town, but my, email today had three attachments to it. Our gutter line in the shop is blown apart and people have already tripped on it, so,
Talking trench drain?
yep, our trench drain.
They're just gonna cut it out,
Cut it out.
re-pour it, put a new drain in there.
Yep. So that was, on this proposal here.
This fell within the fix it right now category on the needs assessment, right?
Yeah,
Sure did.
Okay, perfect. Then it aligns with our needs assessment.
so the cost for this is $5,700. I said it was work that we wanted to have done last year. It just never fit in, with everything that was going on last year, so.
Is that in our budget for this year, Bob?
Yep, we'll have to take it out of the outlay, so.
Okay.
yep. But it's.
I make a
it's
motion to
such-
approve, make a motion to approve the safety hazard and getting the grates fixed up at the shop.
Second. Motion and a second, any discussion?
Only comment is it's for $5,700.
You wanna add the amount to your motion, Donnie?
So amended.
57. No discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries. Discussion possible recommendation for concrete quote Larry Forest Park.
So again, this is the setup for finish. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sidewalk pads, 3/4 inch, rebar will be included in that, that run into the building and to the existing concrete to prevent the settling there. So this is one of the things that was identified in our park, walkthrough evaluation that we're hoping to address. But,
And was the plan then, we're gonna put tar in there or get a quote for asphalt where the benches are and stuff right now? Was that a plan eventually down the road?
yeah,
Starting to get quotes for it, yeah.
Okay. So this is already budgeted for,
This will have to come out of outlay, yeah.
okay. Okay, Brandon Crowe make a motion to approve, the sidewalks at Larry Forest Park in the amount of $6,600.
What was the
I'll
amount
second.
again? I'm sorry.
6,600.
6,600, Donnie.
Okay, thank you.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All
Do
in
we have a
favor?
timeline on getting this done? Is it gonna be sometime this summer or what's the?
Yeah, we'll probably wait for the ball fields to, decrease in some usage and then, get that done at Larry Forest.
Okay.
So, we don't wanna be working up there while people are trying to access the concession stands and the bathrooms and it's
Right.
gonna be a lose-lose for everybody. So I would say mid-July.
And then for the shop one though, you're gonna have to keep the stuff out of the shop.
Yeah,
for a day.
we'll hit that one as soon as it's on the schedule, so,
Just leave everything parked outside for a day.
yeah, we'll figure it out.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carries. Discussion, possible recommendation or sale of public works vehicles.
Yeah.
What are we selling about?
We have, three pickups in our fleet that are no longer being used. Two are
Fine vehicles that we're looking to sell.
probably good for the salvage yard. One is good for
We're trying
either
to sell.
going in for bids
Okay.
or putting them on government surplus, but,
Just get rid of them.
Okay.
They can sit somewhere else, I would say. So then,
We gotta put them out for auction? Is that what you're thinking about doing or are you gonna just scrap them out?
We'll just do a sealed bid within the village, we can put it out, we can use surplus, they do charge us, so.
Right. I like the
told-
sealed bid. I like the sealed bid option. That way, that way, anybody in the village that wants to take a shot at it can. I think that makes the most sense and then we don't have to worry about paying more, on the outside for, having somebody auction it off.
Yeah, 'cause it's 10 or 12% to do it through there, and then we've had good results with them doing a sealed bid.
let's just do that. And then the other two, just salvage them. They'll come pick them up,
And we can put them on the sealed bid, and if nobody takes them, nobody takes them.
then salvage them.
And if nobody takes them, then I would say.
Well, there should be a floor on a sealed bid though. I mean, if we're gonna salvage them, you salvage them, at least you get like maybe $400 or $500 for, you know.
We'll put a reserve on it.
right. Do you need, any kind of motion on that or is this discussion good enough?
Good enough for me. This discussion's good enough for me, Caleb.
Works for me.
Okay,
Yep, okay.
move out.
Public Works Department reports.
So quickly here, sewer utility, the SBR tank. Draining and cleaning has started. It's taken a little bit of time, so that's also consumed a lot of Jim's time, just keeping the plant up and operational.
Yeah, how do you manage that? You just have to,
It's
you have to run half of it or
Last
shut
night,
down half of it?
it went through storm mode last night, so they were in literally all night trying to get things calibrated and working. It's been
Difficult to say. the
it was
least.
it was a crabby day today at work, because everyone was pretty tired.
So there was a lot of stuff going on.
So, when that's done, and there'll be a lot of relief, but yeah. So we had one of our transducers showing the wrong level, and when it was showing false, it will go into a storm mode. And then it starts to go through a different process, because it thinks, oh, we're getting all kinds of water.
Faulty sensor.
And so that was our issue last night, because
So how do you get down there? All right, now I'll ask.
the
you.
transducer just needs to be pulled up and cleaned, so it crusted over because it wasn't submerged anymore, so it had an opportunity to dry, we think. We'll find out tonight.
Do we have spare parts for something like that? Is that something we keep?
It just
spares
needed to
on
be
here?
cleaned.
Okay,
So because it's suspended in the air and
Yeah.
not submerged,
got it.
so it was like, oh. well,
Kind of like when you get your RV tank, something like that, sensor in your RV tank.
Yeah,
Well, thank the guys for our hard work and getting this, worked out too.
yeah, so the quicker this can go, the better, but, everything on the plant is operating. The way it should be, but it's been taking a lot of additional effort, so. Water utility, we should really start talking about that. Water storage tank, one downtown. And I just put in here, we're probably gonna need to grab some data and try to figure out where our capacity limits are gonna be with future growth.
Are you talking replacing this tank, this one, or just a full up brand new one?
Well, that's the question, because if we paint this, it needs a full abatement.
Right,
Full
yeah.
abatements are, have you done one lately?
Yeah, I mean, you'll have to, it'll be $400,000 or whatever it is. Well, I mean, it was $400,000 for a 75,000 gallon tank we just did, and this one's
200.
200.
How old is it since from 19?
74?
I mean, I like classic cars and classic things and such, but it seems like kind of a waste to put that much money in there if we're gonna need a figure for the growth anyways.
Well, it's a challenge. I mean, it's something that, some sort of little water site needs to be done because you may not actually, need additional storage. But the cost of repainting is such that, it might make more sense to build a new tower and take that one down.
How much are we looking at for a water ballpark, water tower, 10 million?
Not that much, not that much.
4 million?
What are prices these days?
2 million?
2 million or something?
That wouldn't hit our borrowing limit that hard then, really.
It'd be water. It'd be in the enterprise fund.
Okay.
So that is always number separate from
Oh, what our,
our capacity is not.
got it.
Water.
So it wouldn't affect that, yeah.
But then you gotta look at,
Is there a absolute limit?
Yeah, pressure zones and where that,
New sites.
where do you have land, do you need to acquire land, some of those things, just all play into
We have
it.
a site in mind already, Bob, that we've already done some testing, initial testing of.
No, I have some general ideas.
You know where not to put it, I bet.
But yes, I do.
Okay.
But, that's one
What kind of a
things.
time frame are we looking at for this? I mean, is there any eminent, this needs to be painted like next year, or is it something that we got a little bit of time on?
26, really, we start hitting where they're gonna push us pretty hard to get that work done. So, yeah, within the next 2 years. We've got 24 months to figure out, oh, we can paint this and we're gonna be good for 10 years, but at a $400,000 or $500,000 bill to find out, well, we've turned both towers over. Hey, guess what? You're out of capacity. You're gonna need to build another tower. It sure would be nice to apply that $400,000 or $500,000 to a new tower versus, oh, this is pretty, but
We're
it's
the,
undersized.
we're the number one growing county percentage wise in
Sure.
the whole state.
Would that one come down then?
Potentially, well, might as well keep it. I don't know. That's a good question. If we have residential growth and we don't add a lot of commercial, which I hope that's not the case. Residential is really easy to factor in, but commercial is a lot harder. Because
Yeah.
you've got some processes and, if we have heavy years here, it could consume quite a bit, so we gotta take that
Yeah, we go.
variable in the factor to say this could happen, and if it does, it's gonna skew. And it probably advance the need.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different factors that need to be looked at. I mean, you've got your fire flows, then you got your, your residential use, some of those things, so. In
So what-
smaller communities, it's the fire flow that drives it, and in
So-
larger communities, it's the water use.
So what data can you put together for us? Do we need to look at growth, capacity, future capacity plans, and then all of those things that you're saying, should we have something in the next 2 months, maybe not next committee?
Well, I think what we need to do is, what I suggest, and, you know, Bob can, you know, it's Bob's call, but I would suggest that we have a conversation with one of our water experts. Either Rob Uphoff, you know, who runs our service line, or Brad Sadinsky, who worked on your well. One of those guys, and, you know, revisit the topic with them, come up with the scope of what needs to be done, and then bring it back forward to this committee and say, here's our recommendations.
Yeah, cause ultimately, like, what I'd wanna know is the delta between painting it and the cost of a new one. And once I have that number, it'd be really easy for me to make my decision, I think.
Yeah, it does clear up a lot of questions,
Yeah, cause it's only like $1 million and.
but it's not, I don't think anyone's comfortable. No, we would just wasted $500,000, or we didn't need to build that after all, and now it's sitting there and there's a bunch of stagnant water in the tower, so a lot of things that would be helpful in getting us to making a decision on what to do.
We're actually going through the process right now with New Richmond, help them site a tower and do some of those things, so.
Are they talking about doing a whole new septic system or a whole new treatment plant too or something like that as well?
Well, I know they're doing a new water tower, I don't know about a treatment.
They're buying like
Some upgrades to that,
Okay.
but not.
that's off topic, I apologize. Alright, so you guys will get us more data on that?
Yep.
And the recommendation.
Yeah.
All right, any other stuff out here, Bob?
No, that's the street, no parking signs, Public Works crew was able to get those, installed on the northbound lane going up Churchill, so that problem has been taken care of. And now just waiting on the DOT's painting contractor to come in and paint the parking stalls, on the southbound. So I don't have a window when that would happen, but I'm gonna assume relatively soon. I don't know when painting crews go, but I know they're out early this year, so. That's really all I had for, you know, kind of pertinent information, but.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Public Works, water, sewer, and parks bills.
I had a chance to look over everything and everything seemed to be in order. Ready to make a motion to approve the water, sewer and parks bills.
Donnie Kern, second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
I
All opposed, nay. Motion carries. Future agenda items.
don't think there was any,
How are you gonna come up with the 5? There gonna be a recommendation, ordinances?
oh yeah, we'll have to, oh yeah, we can't talk about that, so we'll have to,
Bob will pick.
Bob, you tell us
Okay.
which 5 you want us to look at.
I would suggest putting the water tower discussion on for next month. It never hurts to talk about it, even if it's maybe a tad premature.
No, I'd rather us be planning more than planning less. So water tower, continued water tower discussion, or water tower discussion, replacement, AP, all the above. Was there anything else?
Anything else, Donnie? You need,
Not that I can think of. Well, the dog park's already on there, so, you know, yep, I make a motion to adjourn.
Right, for a second.
motion and a second to any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. See you real soon.
See you, Donnie.
Take care, guys.
Welcome back to reality.